Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 2, The Yoga of Knowledge. Lay down the armor of the ego and hearken to the call of the higher self. Verse 227, The necessity of surrender. My heart is weighed down by weakness. My mind is lost in confusion. I beg you, tell me surely what is the right path. I am your disciple. I surrender myself to you. Two armies stand poised. Time itself seems to freeze. He was once an invincible warrior, yet now he lacks even the strength to hold his bow. He was once an invincible warrior, yet now he lacks even the strength to hold his bow. The muffled thud in the dust is the sound of his pride shattering into pieces. Beneath the armor, there is only a broken soul. Beside him, a divine stillness remains unshaken. Arjuna whispered to himself, "Is this killing truly justice? Which path am I meant to take?" As Arjuna gazes upon his kinsman in the opposing ranks, his compassion turns into a lethal poison, corroding the very foundations of his will. The world falls into twilight, as all reason loses its color and fades into the gray. At the deepest abyss of despair, he realizes that he can no longer walk this path without a guide. Arjuna declares, "My heart is heavy with the burden of weakness. My reason has perished in the mist. I surrender the need to control. I confess I do not know the way. I implore you, lead me onto the one true path, the only way that endures. I am your disciple. I surrender my entire being into your hands." A faint, mysterious, and tender smile graces Krishna's lips. This smile is the first light of wisdom, igniting amidst the encroaching darkness. True power is born of absolute surrender. Only when you relinquish the I, do the gates of wisdom swing open. Unborn and undying, piercing through the illusion of physical death, the soul's changing of robes. Just as a person casts off worn-out garments to put on new ones, the soul casts off worn-out bodies and enters into others that are new. Arjuna, you must understand that life is never an accidental occurrence. Life does not begin at birth, nor does it end in death. We have always been here, and we shall remain, simply in another form. As the soul passes through childhood, youth, and old age in this body, at death, it simply moves to another body. The wise are not deceived. Sensory contacts give rise to cold and heat, pleasure and pain. These sensations are fleeting. They come and go. Learn to endure them. One who remains calm in pain and pleasure is fit for immortality. The unreal has no existence, and the real never ceases to be. That which pervades all of existence is indestructible. Nothing can destroy the imperishable. The body is finite, but the soul dwelling within is eternal and immeasurable. If you think the soul can kill or be killed, you have yet to see the truth. The soul is never born, nor does it ever die. It is without beginning or end. Just as one casts off worn-out clothes to put on new ones, the soul leaves behind the old body to enter a new life. Weapons cannot pierce the soul, nor can fire burn it. Water cannot wet it, and the wind cannot dry it. It is all-pervading, immovable, and eternally the same. It is invisible, inconceivable, and immutable. Knowing this truth, why do you still grieve? Even if you think the soul is constantly born and dies, do not grieve. Death is certain for the born, and birth for the dead. It is the law. Life emerges from the unseen, manifests for a while, and returns to the unseen. Why then is there any cause for grief? Some look upon the soul with wonder, others speak of it with awe. Yet, even after hearing of it, very few can truly understand its mystery. The soul can never be slain. Therefore, Arjuna, you should not grieve for any living being. Awaken! From the heights of the soul, see through the illusion of life and death. Yoga is balance in action. Perform your duty without clinging to the fruits. The art of action. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never let the fruits be your motive. Embrace your responsibility. For you, fulfilling your life's purpose is the highest and most sacred path. Do not hesitate. There is nothing more noble than a righteous cause that demands your action. The doors of destiny have opened for you. This is a rare chance that only the truly brave can take. As a warrior, if you turn away from this righteous battle, you will be forsaking your duty and your honor, leaving an unerasable shadow on your path. People will speak of your disgrace forever. For a person of great spirit, a loss of dignity is more painful than death itself. Treat gain and loss, victory and defeat as one and the same. When you are no longer shaken by the outcome, your soul remains pure and free from the burden of guilt. This is the true wisdom of action. It is the key that sets you free from the chains of attachment and the burden of consequence. On this path, no effort is ever wasted. Even a small step of practice can become a light, saving you from the greatest of fears. The will of the steady is one-pointed and clear, but the minds of the undecided are lost in endless directions. Those whose minds are swept away by desire and power can never find the steady resolve that comes from deep inner silence. Arjuna, rise above the three changing qualities of nature, transcend the fog of ignorance, the fire of passion, and even the subtle bonds of worldly peace. In the midst of victory and defeat, do not be swayed by external circumstances. Only by stepping beyond these conflicts can you see your true self in its purest form. You have the right to work, but never to its fruits. Never let the fruit of action be your motive. Nor should you ever be attached to inaction. Abandon all attachment and remain steady in both success and failure. This inner balance is the essence of yoga. This equanimity of mind is called yoga. The wise rise above the chains of success and failure. Free your soul and embrace yoga, the ultimate art of skillful action. The wise surrender the fruits of action, breaking free from the endless cycle of birth, death, and desire. There, you will reach the ultimate realm, a state of eternal peace, unshaken by suffering. Once your wisdom pierces through the confusion, you will rise above all rigid rules. You will no longer be swayed by what others say is right or wrong. When your mind is no longer shaken by confusing words, but remains steady in deep meditation, you will attain the state of perfect yoga. This is the essence of action, maintaining a crystal clear mind in a world of turmoil. To stay focused within the chaos, this is the highest mastery of action. Steady wisdom, the ultimate freedom of the soul, the serenity of the ocean. As the ocean remains unmoved by the constant flow of many rivers, only one who is not disturbed by the flow of desires can attain true peace. Arjuna asked curiously, "Krishna, what are those people like? Those who are truly strong and unshakable within? How do they speak, and do they walk through this world differently than we do?" Krishna replied, "When you are no longer a slave to external desires and find true fulfillment within yourself, your mind becomes truly steady. Not crushed by sorrow, nor clinging to pleasure, free from the grip of fear and anger. This is the path to true inner freedom. You no longer cling to specific outcomes. Whether facing good or bad, you accept it all with a calm heart. You simply observe, free from the bonds of like and dislike, no longer swept away by the dance of emotions. Just as a tortoise withdraws its limbs into its shell, a wise person can, at any moment, withdraw their attention from the chaotic world and return to inner stillness. Simply avoiding temptation does not make the longing vanish. Only when you experience a deeper inner peace will the desires that once shook you truly fade away, leaving no trace behind. Arjuna, you must realize that inner desires are like wild horses galloping out of control, or a sudden, fierce gale. When they strike, even the wisest of men can be swept off course, losing their reason in an instant. Master your senses and fix your mind on the divine within. For only the one who truly governs themselves can be said to possess steady wisdom. When you dwell on things, a deep attachment takes root. This attachment feeds an endless desire, and when that desire is frustrated, it erupts into blinding anger. Anger breeds delusion, causing you to lose sight of your purpose. When you lose the power to discern right from wrong, wisdom crumbles. Finally, with the loss of a clear mind, the entire self is swept away in the chaos of destruction. When you walk through this chaotic world without being pulled by your likes or dislikes, you no longer drift with the tide. Instead, you become the true master of your own soul. As you enter this state of steady peace and stillness, inner turmoil and suffering naturally dissolve. In a clear mind, wisdom quickly takes root and becomes unshakable. For one who cannot settle the mind, focus is lost and wisdom cannot take root. When inner peace is gone, anxiety takes over, and true happiness becomes a distant dream. When the mind dances to the rhythm of sensory desires, your reason becomes like a small boat in a storm, easily swept away by the waves, losing all sense of direction. What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-controlled, and what is time of awakening for all beings is but a night for the sage who sees. Like the ocean, which remains undisturbed despite the flow of many rivers, only the one whom desires enter without causing change attains true peace. When you let go of the ego and the heavy burden of attachments, no longer trapped by desires or the fear of loss, you will attain that purest, deepest sense of stability, freedom, and peace. This is the supreme state of being. Having attained this, one is never again deluded. Even at the hour of death, one remains established in this eternal peace. The dialogue continues, but light has dawned upon the battlefield of the soul.